Hey guys, what is going on? It is me, PecuriBox12 here, and welcome back to another Realm of the Mad God video. Endgame content is a phrase that gets thrown around a lot in the Realm community because it's something that nearly every player is always looking forward to. Even after we get some, we still want more. There's a reason why dungeons like the Hive are always released alongside other bigger dungeons like the Toxic Sewers and Puppet Master's Encore, because on their own, they play a very minor role for beginners. So once you get past that beginner phase, you really don't have a reason to go back to them. Endgame dungeons, on the other hand, can entertain even the best of players for extended periods of time. Not only are they more difficult and therefore more engaging and exciting, but they also typically yield some of the best items in the game, rewarding you for your efforts. It's the sole reason why the Lost Halls was so highly anticipated. It's a terrifying place to be, but a fruitful one if you can survive. And when you look back at 2010 when the hardest dungeon was the Tomb of the Ancients, it's a testament to how far we've come. The question that I have for all of you, however, is how far can Realm go? Where do we draw the line? How much is too much? Is it possible to create a dungeon so ridiculously hard that no one can actually beat it? To create items so powerful that they break the game in half? Yes, it is. But how will we know when we get there? What is Realm's threshold for that? I don't know, but I guarantee you that it's been on Dekka's mind at some point and is a big reason why these things take so long to come out. I mean, look at the Shatters. That thing took ages to get made, but when it finally was, people lost their minds because it had so much substance in it at a time when the game desperately needed some. But Realm is the type of game that can theoretically go on forever. You can always keep adding classes, enemies, dungeons, and items as long as you see fit. It's an online game that can be updated at any time. But everything has a limit, and one day, Realm will reach that limit. And the reason that I bring this up is because I want to see Oryx 3. If Realm is ever going to have an ultimate final level that can never be topped, it needs to be Oryx. He's the face of the game. Going to Oryx's castle was nowhere near as routine as it's become now. Getting to the Stone Guardians required caution and patience. O1's dancing phase used to be feared, and you would often dip out because you didn't have faith in your dodging capabilities. Wine cellars were cleared for the opener because not everyone could rush, and you had to pray that some brave knight had the courage to go in for the first stun. These bosses were feared, but respected for their power. Nowadays, you hardly see Oryx even throw out an attack. Even with HP scaling, he's no threat. Not unless you're in a very small group. So to make Oryx the mad god that he is, and to give Realm a true finale with a riveting boss fight, I think Oryx 3 is the way to go. The idea is that Oryx 1 was an illusion, and now you have to go into the wine cellar to fight the real deal. Well, we can easily retcon that to be an illusion as well. A scapegoat to distract the players and lure them away from the real mastermind, resting at the top of his castle, sitting in his throne room. Now you gotta make your way from the bottom cellar all the way to the top. Oryx 3 doesn't just have to be a boss fight. It can be its own climactic dungeon leading up to the endgame. Only instead of fighting petty minions, Oryx has prepared for you only his finest of guards, his elite guardian knights. You fight them one at a time, each more powerful than the last. Kinda like how the Shatters is set up, where it isn't procedurally generated. Maybe once it's finally on Unity, we can have some cool background effects like lightning as we approach the top. Or maybe some epic music for once. The throne room will be big enough to support the fight, but not as big or simple as his chamber was. We want this place to feel special and appropriately royal, with flags, chandeliers, suits of armor, red carpets, and stone brick textures. As for how the fight itself will play out, that's seriously up for debate. Of course we want it to be difficult, but we also want it to be clever. And for me personally, I think it should be the most team-oriented fight in the game. And I don't mean just have everyone attack at the same time, I mean actual teamwork, where specific classes are nearly required to survive certain phases, or maybe combination attacks will be needed. Maybe Oryx will only be susceptible to one status effect at a time, and your group has to alternate between which character is gonna throw it out. Get all Legend of Zelda on us if you want. Have him turn into a beast form and charge at us. Maybe at the very end we'll pull our powers together and deliver one finishing blow, putting an end to Oryx's reign once and for all. I don't know how that's gonna happen, but I really think it needs to in some way. And aside from dropping his own legendary white bag Oryx set, I think this is where the tier 7 abilities should drop from. Perhaps even tier 7 rings too. Again, I don't know how high we can go in the tier list before we cap, but it seems like a fair reward for defeating the final boss of the game. You can even make him drop an Ami if you want. If I had to choose one last thing to see in Realm, aside from being ported, I think Oryx 3 has my vote. It's been a discussion for years already. It's been on private servers, there's a great Realmeye forum for it, and I believe that having a truly satisfying conclusion to this never-ending game would do wonders for it. So what do you guys think? Do you think it's time that Oryx reclaimed his crown as the most difficult boss in the game? And if you have any ideas of your own that you'd like to see, feel free to share them down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, don't forget to check out the next episode whenever I post it, which will probably be soon. Alright. See ya.